Hi, my name is Melissa Pacone and I'm going to show you how to make some rubies. You can actually make these gems into anything. You can make them into pink sapphires or diamonds or blue sapphires, but we're going to make them into rubies to start with. So this is what our final result is going to look like. And I'm going to go ahead and close this file. Command or Control W, we don't need it. Create a new file. Command or Control N. We only really need a 1 inch by 1 inch at 300 ppi file because rubies are pretty small. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with a shape, and I want to use my polygon tool. And up in my options bar, I want to make sure I have 11 sides chosen. I'm going to create a new layer, and rubies are red, so I have the color red chosen. I'm just going to go ahead and make some rubies, and I'm going to make them different colors. I mean different sizes so that you can see how the styles, we're going to create some custom styles, are going to affect the different size rubies. I'm going to go ahead and grab my zoom tool and let's zoom in here. So let's go ahead and start with Bevel and Emboss. We want to choose the technique of chisel hard. Rubies have a nice hard edge there. I'm going to lower my opacity for my multiply for my shadows here because you can kind of see through rubies, and I'm going to increase the opacity for my screen because they're very shiny. And I can play with the size. Now your size is going to be dependent on how large or how small your rubies are. Okay, you can see as I increase my size they look like the bottom. As I decrease my size it looks more like the top. So choose a size that's going to work well for the size of the rubies that you have. I'm going to choose a contour, and just to give you a little insight into how the contour works, let's go ahead and create a custom contour. We can start with this one here, and then I'm just going to click on contour. Now what I need is I need each one of these points to be a corner point. So I'm going to select my center point, choose corner, and I'm going to drag this out over here. And now you can see that what I'm going for is, if you were to look at the side of a gem or a ruby that's in a princess cut from the side, it kind of looks like this on the side. It kind of gives you an idea a little bit of how the contour works. I'm going to choose OK. And let's play with my range here. I'm going to bring my range in just a little bit. Let's go back to Bevel and Emboss. I need to increase the size a little bit, and I'm going to increase my depth. Okay. Now I want to apply some satin, and I am going to increase the distance of my satin a bit. I'm going to increase the size, and the satin just kind of gives it, it affects kind of how the light plays on it. So that looks good. And I also want to do a pattern overlay. I'm going to choose a gravel pattern, and you can find that, you can't see this here, if you click on your arrow, down arrow here, and come over to your side arrow, and you still cannot see it. It is right down here at the bottom inside of rock patterns. Okay? And try other patterns, see what kind of effect you get. Now what I want to do here is I want to change the blend mode to multiply. And I'm going to lower the opacity a little bit. And this is just going to give our rubies some depth and make them a little bit more interesting, and then you can play with the scale, see how it looks. That looks pretty good. I'm still going to lower the opacity a little bit. And I like pink rubies, so I am going to come up here to Inner Glow, and I'm going to change my color to a nice pinky color. Okay, and I can play with this as well to see what happens. I can lower the opacity a little bit. So now I got some cool pink going on inside of that as well. Click OK, and there you have some rubies. And then if you want to, we can go ahead and make a quick brush and give our rubies a little bit of sparkle. Let's change our foreground color to black. Grab our brush tool. Let's make a new layer. Close this up so you can see what I'm doing. And I am going to choose a small brush. Let's try a number 3 brush. I'm just going to paint off to the side here, and I'm going to kind of make like a little sparkle looking thing. Kind of like that. And I'm going to grab my marquee, select it, go up to Edit, Define Brush Preset, OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete my brush. I don't need it anymore. Command or Control D to deselect. And let's go ahead and put our sparkles right in this layer. But first, so you can see them, let's change our background layer. Let's change it, just change it to whatever color works. I like purple, fill it with purple, come up to my blank layer, grab my brush. With a white brush, I am going to choose my new brush, which should be at the bottom of your brush's palette. There it is. And I'm going to use my left and right bracket keys to control the size of my brush, make it smaller. I can add some little sparkles here. Right bracket key to make it a little larger. Nice big sparkle there. And there we have some sparkly gems. So once you're done making your rubies all nice and sparkly, let's see how they look at 100%. If you don't like the sparkles, go ahead and turn them off, and there we have your rubies.